All right, gotta call these two. Okay, come on, Brendan, pick up. Pick up.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Brendan. It's
You've reached
Nathan. I'm just.
Brendan.
And
Oh,
Mariah.
Jesus.
We're not here to take your call right now because we're collecting seashells.
And we love each
The
other
fuck?
very much.
Yay! Don't leave a
Oh.
message.
Okay, Brendan. It's Nathan. Calling you guys. We're supposed to be doing the podcast. You're not supposed to be at home. Or you are supposed to be at home. You're not supposed to be out collecting shells and being super in love. Apparently, look. We need to record this podcast because I need to get my notes and the thoughts and the memories of this movie out of my mind. If they are not out of my mind, I'm probably going to go insane. I will drive to Fredericton and beat you both to death with a film reel. Nope. Just... Okay. Nope. Calm down. I'm coming down. Calming down. Look. Do not want to have watched this movie in vain. Just call me back. I hope you both get chlamydia. Bye.
And that was in the style of today's movie.
It made about as much sense.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Well, that's
It really did.
And
that's almost a reenactment of one of the scenes,
Oh.
except for the ranty at the end. That was all spav.
And the chlamydia, I don't know about that. Well, maybe.
Not as much chlamydia in this movie.
Yeah.
I felt there should be more. I felt it was the celluloid equivalent of chlamydia, actually.
I mean, I think that's a compliment compared to the.
It's the only way. It's the only way anybody clapped for this movie.
Ah.
See what I did there?
Ew.
Because chlamydia is the clap.
I don't get it.
So
Where's that gonorrhea?
I just want to say,
What were they thinking? Bye, thanks.
to everyone who's listening to us for the first time, be via iTunes. Welcome.
Yes.
I am Brendan.
And I'm Nathan.
And we talk about shitty movies or movies that are shitty yet still enjoyable. And we basically...
This is more of the former than the latter.
I don't know what you're talking about because I watched this 5 times.
Oh
I
my
watched
god,
the
Brendan,
second.
you're never getting that time back. Like, never, ever getting that time back, ever.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Oof. We have a guest this week.
Yes, indeed we do. Mariah, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you. I think the last time I was on was when we were doing the Christmas episode. One of them.
Ernest, yes.
Ernest Saves Christmas.
And I would have watched that movie 5 times
You are
over this movie.
foolish.
I know how, like, everybody has, like, you guys have, like, certain guests that are, like, you know, themed guests. What am I?
The earnest and gay guest?
What?
Yes, you're only ever on when we have,
Christmas and gay movies.
Christmas and gay movies, yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, in this movie, I know we're gonna go right into it, but
Oh, we're gonna-
they never say, like, gay, they say homosexual.
Oh, they do say gay.
Oh, well-
They say... No, they say the word gay in this movie when they read, like, verbatim out of a newspaper. That's when you hear the word gay. Gays. Which you would probably never see written like that.
And that's the thing, the big thing for me a lot of the time with this movie was that it struck me as the people who made it really wanted to make a statement about where gay rights, more specifically the right to get married, were at in the United States at the time. They wanted to break down some stereotype barriers. The only problem is that they kept some of the stereotypes and then decided to use nothing but stereotypes for people who weren't gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you say people, let's just make sure we specify really person.
Well, no, he had a friend, so there were three people who were supposedly straight in this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
The characters were
Well,
anyways.
I just want to say right now that before we get, because we really should start unpacking this movie, but before we do, the gentleman who plays arguably the straightest character in the movie, the Christian fundamentalist brother, he
Oh my
is
god.
actually a gay porn actor.
Yeah.
And he is easily, and I don't want to sound like I'm stereotyping here, but he is easily the gayest person in the movie. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean that it's really kind of super obvious.
I think he gets gayer as the movie progresses.
I actually have that as a note.
And I just okay, and again, we need to dive into this, but I just need to say the moment I knew that this was going to be good was you watched this. I watched this obviously with Mariah here, and you watched it with Patty, with your wife.
Yes.
And the moment I knew it was a good choice was when she actually messaged me and said, "Thank you for this movie." I said yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, we did have a blast watching it, only because we were so busy laughing and holding our sides at the ineptitude of this movie that unfortunately any message that may have been present in the movie absolutely lost.
Well, let's just dive in, I guess, because we open with credits.
Titles by the lava lamp.
Okay,
That's what it was? Okay, I was just like, what the hell is that?
yeah, I thought it was like a close-up of like blurry ultrasounds put through like a crazy mirror.
What?
Well, I mean, it either way, it looked like, it to me, it looked like lava lamps, but I mean, it really could be
Like
anything,
ink
any
blobs
sort
from,
of,
like
like
therapists.
The director.
Rorschach test. Yes, a Rorschach test. And really, this whole movie is a Rorschach test because a lot of times you really just see what you perceive. And there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to what you take away from this movie.
Well, I mean, having watched the film 5 times, there are so many different layers to this film.
5 times. 5 bloody times. Really,
I had
Brendan?
3 times. That was enough for me.
Good. I got through it once, took as many notes as I could, laughed as hard as I could, and it has now been relegated to the realm of obscure, forgotten YouTube movies.
It's true, yeah, when I was watching, because we were watching the film because we were taking notes, we had to restart the film like halfway through because I lost all my notes. So I was like, oh shit, I have to go through this again. No!
See, that's why I do mine on
And I
paper.
was like,
that's good, yeah.
And I was like, oh darn, we have to start it again.
Yeah.
So
Meanwhile,
Sam Marovich, however the hell you say his name. I'm gonna say Marovich because whatever. He had a little bit to do with the film.
A little bit, yeah.
He is the director, the writer, the producer, the cinematographer.
Right.
He did the music. He did the music editing. He did the regular editing.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he probably did catering.
Yeah.
He's also the star. And he wrote himself to be this awful character. So let's talk about
So it's 9 things that he did in this movie.
Yeah, he's all over the credits.
He's a non-tuple threat.
A threat to your sanity.
Well, yeah, he's a threat, yes, for sure.
So we start off with this loving gay couple, Ben and Arthur, played by 2 actors who seemingly, it looks like they met like 2 hours before they started shooting.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned that the brother later on is like a legit gay porn actor, because my first impression of this movie was this was shot with porn cameras.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I thought that Brendan had like ribbed me, hit me on some sort of swerve, and was going to say no, I'm just kidding. We're gonna watch something competent this week. After he suckered me into accidentally watching gay porn.
See, what I did is I got you to let your guard down with Killer Clowns, and
Yeah.
and then boom, Ben and Arthur.
Pow, right in the kisser.
So we quickly learn. So Arthur, we start out with a riveting shot of Arthur passed out on his bed, and Ben is calling him to. Actually, Ben calls him and literally just says, "Did you hear? No, I didn't hear." Or didn't find out.
Because he'd been sleeping the whole time.
The TV broke, so I came to get a nap.
I think before, actually, we should say that before we get into any of this movie, because I know that it's going to come across that we are not derogatory or looking down upon gay people or the struggle of the rights to gay marriage and stuff like that. All that stuff is very, very important. Everyone should have the right to marry and love the person that they want to be married to and love. This movie, however, is awful.
Oh, yes.
Please continue.
Thank you for that disclaimer. That is important to get out there. Because we will be making fun of this movie hard, and it was a weird way to say it.
Yes, and we are not making fun of the entire LGBT community. No. We are making fun of the people in this movie.
I think, if anything, the LGBT community should be upset about this movie.
Yeah, there should be marches against this movie.
For a movie made by, I'm assuming everyone in this film is gay.
I would say just about. Now,
I don't think Ben is.
I don't know.
You think Ben is?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. I didn't know if Ben was. He's the only one who didn't come across as
stereotypical,
blatantly, out and proud.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say though, by a movie made almost entirely by homosexuals, it's almost homophobic in a way.
To some degree, it's also, I found I don't know, not to use a pun because I'm not very homogenous. It's any sort of outside of our viewpoint, it's all them versus us. I found, because there's no, if this movie was to be made so that it was to promote, tolerance and acceptance, there would have been some turning point for the people who were working against Ben and Arthur in this movie, and spoiler alert, there's not.
Yeah, and I don't want to upset the people, homogenous or heterogeneous, we're all here. We're all here for you both sides of the aisle.
All right, so let us continue. Yes, Arthur is woken up. Did you hear? No, the TV broke, so I went and got it now.
Let's just read the script. Just be.
Let's not.
That would be the.
We're not doing a dramatic reenactment of Ben and Arthur.
Yeah. So I want to. This is a very minor point, but Ben basically tells him to listen to the radio, which he does with amazing sound effects and timing precision.
The ADR is fantastic.
Because I'm pretty sure
movie.
He's still pressing buttons after the radio turns on.
Didn't it play before he started pressing buttons?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, he's pressing them, and the radio's already playing.
It's like, wow, technology back then. Woo!
Did you catch the name of the judge who passed the law?
Yes, I did.
What? Who was it?
Kevin James.
Did you not think that was a subtle nod to Chuck and Larry?
No, because this movie came out a few years before that.
Damn it! My theory.
Although, what if the theory was Kevin James watched this movie?
It was like, well, I can do it better with Adam Sandler about firemen.
I'm really sorry to quash that theory, because I do like that theory. Maybe Sam Marovich had a time machine.
I also feel that the plight of gay marriage was treated better in that movie than it was in this movie.
Less stereotypes in Chuck and Larry than Ben and Arthur.
Sure.
So basically they find out via the radio that gay marriage is now legal in Hawaii, which...
So let's go to fucking Hawaii. Yeah. Get drunk in the sun.
And then we get the first music cue. Let's go.
Which
let's go.
Cues
up our laundry / packing
junk
montage.
Drawer. He puts the whole junk drawer in his luggage.
And did anybody notice during this let's go scene, in the background there was a tripod?
Yeah, the camera tripod's in the background, one of the shots.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The continuity in this film is spot on.
Oh, I kept watching and looking and seeing reflections of cameramen all over the place in this movie. In glasses, and we got too close to the sunglasses and you could see the cameraman in the reflection.
So herein lies the first issue. They're excited to go to Hawaii because now from what I surmise, The only reason they're excited to go to Hawaii, or the main reason, is that they can get legally married there.
Right.
But we established very soon after that they could have just gone to Vermont.
Well, no, because they actually addressed that in the later on with the lawyer lady. The ceremony in palm tree infested Vermont is that it's a civil union. It's like it's not the same as a marriage.
Are you defending this fucking movie, Nathan?
No, I'm pointing out the logic, because you just said that why would they bother to wait for Hawaii so they could go to Hawaii and get married, because they could get legally married there, when all along they could have gone to Vermont.
Well, I know.
And when it's not the same.
No, I know, but I mean, but like, they could have just gone to Vermont.
Well, they could have gone to Vermont, and they would have gone to Vermont, and they would have had their civil union like they did, and they would have, had the same rights and privileges as, a hetero-married couple at the time in the States, eligible for benefits through health insurance and stuff like that. However, it's a civil union. It's not a marriage, and while they're very similar, they are not the same, because a marriage has a religious sanction, I guess, to it. I don't know. There's a license and everything involved. With a civil union, there's no marriage license involved. It's not the same type of official with the state than a civil union, than a marriage would be.
Well, guys, if
know.
anybody's ever complained that you never learn anything on this podcast, there you go.
Dude, we learn stuff all the time on this podcast. You can't join the army instead of going to prison. Right? We learned that
Nick
one.
Fury's the worst movie ever made.
Nick Fury is the worst movie ever
This movie,
made.
better than Nick Fury. So...
Wow.
At least 5 times better than Nick Fury, at least.
Okay, so let's just say... Okay, so they're packing to go to Hawaii. And the next scene we find out via the newspaper, which I'm assuming is the next day, that the judge has already overruled his own ruling about gay marriage.
Which, that makes no sense.
Never mind. So,
Yeah.
Arthur, Ben says, read the paper, Ben says, read the paper, and Arthur says, what is so interesting about today's paper? Gives it the most boring, banal, like, no emotion reading.
I thought it would have been funny if he'd have given it to him and said, read the paper. And he opened it up and you're like, oh, that Marmaduke.
Well, here's what I'm wondering too. He says, read the paper, and it takes Arthur like 10 minutes to find the article.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it open to it. Like, Ben's clearly reading it, but then he gives it to him, and it's on like page 7.
Yeah.
Like, what do you read? Oh, I was reading it, and then I started reading sports.
But, like, didn't they just, like, the day before, they just mentioned that, it's good. Like, you can get married in Hawaii.
And that's the time in this movie.
Doesn't it take, like, at least a day to make a newspaper? And then, like,
Wouldn't the story be
boom,
from
instantly.
Wouldn't the story be from the previous day? Like, the day they said it was legal?
And the other thing of it is, if the judge is in Hawaii, okay, I know there's time zones don't exist apparently in this movie.
Definitely not.
Because there would definitely be a time difference between when the judge would have rescinded his order and it being reported and able time to go to press, unless there was an extra edition that was done, which is, I can't think of the last time an extra edition was ever done for any newspaper in this day and age. Exactly. But they have other than that, the concept of time and how laws are passed and when they go into effect and how they can be repealed and rescinded, I don't feel any research at all went into that.
Nope, absolutely zero.
Because if I could draw a parallel to the marijuana legalization in Denver, okay, in Colorado, it was voted on in a November election. It passed the ballot, and then it didn't become legalized until 2 months later, in January of the following year. Also, it went into effect. While it went into effect, appeals then started. Okay, now the law could have been rescinded. Not that they were successful, but they could have been rescinded. But they would have to gone through the appeals process, which takes time. I know this is a judge versus a ballot initiative sort of thing, but there still has to be a time where it gets declared as a law, gets put into effect as a law, and then possibly gets repealed as a law. It does not happen in a 24-hour period, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you're trying to say, I don't know if I can be on board with this idea, Nathan, but what you're trying to say is that...
Because it destroys the logic of this movie that you love so much?
That a judge can't just decide on a whim to change his mind the next day.
On a what?
On a whim.
On a what?
A whim.
Why are you saying it like that?
I'm saying what? Like what? Let's just steal Family Guy bits.
Yeah.
But... Yeah.
What, and then that also poses a question: why
yes, thank you,
would a judge rescind or repeal his own decision? That never ever happens.
Maybe he was drunk. Yeah, let the gays get married. I don't give a shit. What did I say?
The next morning it
guys,
is.
I was.
Oh man, did I say that? I was so blitzed.
Yeah, get this to the newspaper right away. What do you mean they already did print?
Do-overs. It's a do-over. No take-backs.
But if we didn't have that, then we wouldn't have this epic rant from Arthur, because when he finds out that that all of a sudden it's been reversed and they're not going to Hawaii because they have their non-refundable tickets and.
So why didn't they just go to Hawaii?
That's what I'm saying. Yep. You know what? Okay, you know what? You're not going to get married in Hawaii. You know, okay, that sucks. But, just go to Hawaii.
Still, go and enjoy the palatial paradise that is Hawaii.
Enjoy Hawaii. Also, it comes into the... I'm only mentioning it because they talk about it a lot in this film. But what is their financial status? Because at some points he needs $2,000, and at some points they have enough for tickets to Hawaii on a
honeymoon.
On a whim.
Okay, now that aside, I'd also like to apologize for my earlier misuse of the word palatial. They didn't do that on a whim or a whim because they said that they had been planning it, but for some reason they were waiting for this law to pass before they bought their tickets. It still begs the question: why not just go to Hawaii?
Yeah, I know.
You've booked the time off from.
Especially
what was that?
Non-refundable.
Especially
especially
if you like you said, if they've been planning it, then
they've been planning it.
Go.
And also, if they were going to go do this, they would have booked the time off to know that it's coming up. Okay, we're booking the time off. The time is booked off from work. We've got the ticket money ready to go. Now we've got the tickets. They're non-refundable. Just go. You've got the time off. Just go.
I've got a pitch for a different direction the movie could have taken at this point.
Any?
Hear me out with this one. So the judge, they end up going to Hawaii, and the rest of the movie is them trying to convince the judge to reverse his decision again.
That would have been brilliant.
If they had a budget, the judge could have been like Harry Dean Stanton. I just thought of like a good like
stone-faced,
a good curmudgeon-y judge.
And then they find like his gay grandson or granddaughter, so we can have the lesbian community represented as well. And he changes his heart because she can't get married to her girlfriend, and Grandpa, you're hurting me. Why are you hurting me? I thought you loved me.
Let's go,
your honorable Grandpa. And then they change his heart, and there's a turning point for a former bigot, now someone who is embracing tolerance, and decent story. No murders.
Nope.
Just decent storytelling about someone having a change of heart and seeing things differently and putting themselves in somebody else's shoes. That would have been enjoyable.
I think we need to write the sequel.
Absolutely.
So okay, so let's get back to this.
They could be angels trying to get their wings.
We're literally at like minute 4.
Yeah, and we're at like minute 26 of this podcast.
So, okay, so I just want to read this, if you don't mind.
Okay.
This is ignorance and completely unfair. This country fucking sucks. It just fucking sucks. You know what? If we ever get into a war and they draft my ass, the first thing I'm going to tell them is if I'm not good enough to get married in this country, I sure as hell ain't dying for it. I also love his hissy fit off screen.
Yeah, he's like banging, like throwing stuff.
You hear like stuff smashing in the background.
I also put draft. He's easily 30.
Guess what, Arthur? You are a pudgy, balding 30-something guy who clearly has no experience on the battlefield. Don't think you're going to war.
No, not at all.
Also, I gotta take Sam Maravich to task. I was looking him up on IMDb. This is not his only credit, by the way.
What?
Yeah, well, he's been in a few homoerotica pictures.
Oh, like softcore?
Yeah, but I feel like he's always the person that doesn't have any sex. So I feel like that's why he made this movie.
It's probably best for everybody involved.
I think that's why I honestly think that's why he made this movie, because he never gets to be that guy.
Aww.
But Mariah's really sad now.
You don't get sex.
But
well, I'm sure he gets to do it privately. I mean, everyone's got someone to love, right?
Sure.
And there's a little bit in this
And
film.
collect seashells with.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, can we talk about well, obviously the camera work is atrocious.
Oh my god.
Throughout the whole thing. But can we talk about the editing where, like, after he has his fit, Ben talks to him. They're clearly on opposite sides of the room, and then he says, "I have to tell you something." Boom! He's in his face.
That's really not really a camera thing. It's more of a blocking thing.
Well, yeah, but like an editing thing too, because first they're just like they're that far. I don't know why I'm saying they're that far apart. You can all see my hands right now, right? You can all see where my hands are. My hands are far apart, and then now my hands are really close together, and it just jumps.
It's good. You were able to put that together for us all.
Did that.
I absolutely did that. Actually,
You totally did that.
Good.
Because here is our first big revelation, Nathan. Because Ben has a wife.
What?
Yeah.
For the past, doesn't he say? Okay, here's my question. Because I'm pretty sure in this scene and another scene, a few other scenes, it goes from 3 years to 5 years. Like, it's interchangeable.
I don't even know if it does. Yeah, well, the time change definitely, but the revelation itself didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because if they've been together so long in such a committed relationship that they're going to get married, the idea that Ben had been previously married should have come up.
Absolutely.
You think maybe once?
Or at least twice.
At the very least. Guess what?
Yeah.
If I was married at the time of entering a relationship, probably one of the things I'd mention. They even, like,
They had a
later in the
party.
movie.
Yeah.
Later in the
party.
movie, they even had, like, a coming out party. So he had
Yes,
to have known.
I can't see them as a couple in any sort of committed relationship, hetero or otherwise, or homo or otherwise, not having a moment where they discussed their pasts, their triumphs and their failures, their high points and their low points, and say, one of the first things that should have come out from old Ben was, I was in the closet so badly for like 3 years I was married.
Yeah, exactly. And this is also where we get the first of many long shots of Arthur's face where he's doing nothing.
Oh my god. He's an ugly man.
What did
Ouch.
you say?
He said he's an ugly man.
You went from being sad that he didn't get to have sex to being he's an
As long as
uggo.
he put a paper
She's-
bag over his head, he's fine.
She's come to a realization in this podcast. But yeah, it's one of the many shots where it's just his face for a long time before he says anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because his what And then smash cut to him writing in his diary.
Oh my goodness.
Dressed like Gavin from Kids in the Hall.
Some bitch named Tammy.
Dear diary. when the voiceover said "Dear diary," I had to pause it. I laughed for a good minute because that is so. It's so out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yes, and not only cliched, it's also something that doesn't go anywhere.
No, we never go back to it. The diary.
He never enters anything into the diary ever again.
The diary's never used in the film. Like, I have no idea. Was that just his like lazy way of telling us what he was feeling? Because in the rest of the movie, the characters just blatantly say it.
Well, there's that, I feel like in a movie that could afford people, there would have been somebody that he would have had like a shoulder to cry on, or someone to talk to. To say, is
that Sam Marovich?
Yeah, he's calling me right now. He knows I'm talking shit about him and his terrible movie.
Tell me.
Like I was saying, he
put Sam on the line.
Mariah says you're a fuggo, and fuggo, yes. Don't no, Sam. She said it, not me. No.
This is also.
No, look, I don't care how unfortunate you look. No, I didn't. Unfortunate's not a bad word.
Tell
no.
Sam
Sam, look,
talk about his
Sam,
movie.
Sam, I'll call you back. Okay, we're gonna talk some more about your movie. No, it's fine. No, Sam, it's fine. It's fine. No, you did. You did a good job. You tried
Great
your
movie,
hardest.
Sam.
Okay. All right. Brendan says it's a great movie. I'll talk to you later. Okay. All right. Bye.
Holy fuck.
So,
Amazing.
like I said, in Sam's absolutely terrible movie, there would have been somebody for him to confide in, someone to, say these emotions to, instead of using this terrible ADR Dear Diary thing.
Yeah, you're telling me he doesn't have like any friends or like any
Mildred.
gay friends? Like,
I don't think they could afford
true.
more people.
That's true.
He had
This
Mildred.
cast is already pretty big.
There's even a point later in the movie where two characters are going into a building. They cut into the building, and the other character turns to the camera and was looking just beyond it and says, "No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to do this alone." Meaning the actor who played that other character who walked into the building with him on one day, couldn't make it to the set the next day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I definitely wrote that down as well. It was very obvious because when he's talking to him, it's clear that he's not there.
Yeah. So, there
Okay,
you go.
can I just say something here? So, like, during the Dear Diary scene, that was, like, the first time we see him with glasses. I should have counted the times that he wore glasses and not worn glasses. There's so many fucking times.
But you did count something.
Oh, God. Okay, so I watched the movie last night. I watched it for counting two things. I counted the amount of times they said fuck or fucking, and there was 34 times. And the best one is when they use a door. When they used a door, it was also 34 times when they used a door to open or close. I was like, why am I doing this?
We need some business. Just open and close the door. Open and close the door.
34.
Well, that's this movie's about it. How else do you come out of a closet?
Hey.
You have to open the door.
Ba-dum-tsh.
Right. It's a metaphor.
Oh
Duh.
my God.
Good filmmakers use them all
Oh my
the
God,
time.
Get the fuck out.
But like it's oh my God, and the continuity in this, like in the goofs in this film.
Don't
oh
even.
my-
I'm not even gonna start with the
Oh
continuity.
my God,
34
I'm so
times.
excited.
34 times in an 85-minute movie.
There's a door.
Okay, so now we go to Evil Wife.
They treated door openings the way comedies treat jokes.
Yeah. Rule of 3, Arthur. Can you slam it 3 times in a row? So, now we meet some bitch named Tammy.
This audio, this like,
Is waiting for her cue
Oh
when
my
we meet
God.
her. Did you notice that
Yes.
as well? Yeah.
Yes.
She's standing in the hallway. The camera rolls, and then she's like, "Oh!" starts walking.
and door scene number 1.
Yeah. She walks in, and we get like Birdemic level audio
I
quality.
was literally just gonna say that.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
because the audio gets
It's like-
really shitty. As soon as they start talking.
It's a silence, and then when they talk, it's like
Yeah, it's like.
And how long do they say that he has been separated from his wife?
God, I don't remember.
Maybe 2 years.
It's been years. It's been years. Regardless of continuity, it's been years. Anybody with any sort of semblance of common sense would be like, okay, this is clearly a thing that's happening. I need to move on, and the divorce needs to happen, especially considering the fact, again, that he is ready to get married to another man. She should be able to go, all right, he is gay.
But you're talking about some bitch named Tammy. And
Right.
she is not a level-headed person.
But she also thinks that he's leaving her for another man.
It's weird. Like,
See,
she
that's literally
comes
what
in
she
the
said.
room as if they had just broken up.
Yeah. And I thought that was a flashback at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, oh, you know what? Even with the way they cut to it, it kind of looks like it might be.
Yeah. Like this was the day that they broke up, and he's like remembering it or something like that. And then you're like, oh no, this is now, okay.
Wait, is it?
So should
Is it?
No.
Are you because Arthur never enters the scene. And then
True.
he kind of talks about his wife later, but like it does kind of, you know what? That might be a theory. That might be a sound theory because I don't like.
either way, it wasn't made perfectly clear.
Is it a flashback? Wow.
Let's not dwell on it too much. I
Let's-
don't want you to have like an
Talk
aneurysm or
about that for
something.
the next hour.
No, let's go to Vermont. Vermont that's filled with Spanish architecture and palm
We
trees.
can't go to Vermont yet. We haven't talked
No.
about the restaurant.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Yes.
Because the restaurant has so Ben and Arthur both work together also. Ben has this crazy string of dialogue where Arthur says, you know, first of all, Arthur says he wants to open up his own little mom and pop porno shop. Basically
Yes.
the way he says it.
Please keep that in mind, folks, because I have something to say about that a little later.
So Ben, remember, Arthur's going to open up his own little porno shop. So Ben then he says, Ben, how can you work at this restaurant? It's so awful. And Ben says, I've got my music, which we never see.
You never ever see it.
Never ever see. And he said, even though I've got my degree in nursing, I've got my music, but I'd rather just work here. What?
Which the sound quality on the recording for this movie was so awful that I first heard it sounded like he had a degree in arson.
In arson.
You've got a degree in arson, Ben. What are you even doing here? Why is this place still standing?
Yeah. And then I later found out that it was a degree in nursing.
Which, little known fact, you can actually get a degree in arson. It's right next to the nursing building.
And this is it. Like this, there's so much stuff. Like I even have my following note as the restaurant scene is happening. What the fuck is up with the timeline in this movie?
Right?
Like, because I didn't know if this was also a flashback of when they first met, that they were working together.
Oh my god. Dude, that actually makes a little bit of sense. A little bit of sense, too, because Mildred, who we meet in this scene, comes back later, and she looks a lot different.
Well, here's why I thought these preceding scenes were flashbacks, was because one, you know, like you said, Arthur doesn't come into play or into the apartment when Ben is having his tete-a-tete with his ex, or soon-to-be ex. And then their chemistry, well, for lack of better terms, in this movie, it didn't seem like that they were a couple at this point. It was almost like this would have been like the discovery point for Ben.
Yeah.
For like him to kind of really accept the fact that he was gay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and for
what?
him to be like, oh, and then you know, and for Arthur to like comfort him and be like, it's all right. That's the way you're made. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with you being gay, and you should learn to accept that. And then to like open up about how he was gay and how hard it was for him because of his brother and stuff like that. That would have made a really good choice for this point in the movie. I don't know if this was a flashback or not, though, because Arthur then goes out and flips out at Mildred.
Okay, and you know what? These revelations, for all you comedy podcast nerds out there, this is like Sleepaway Camp, how did this get made type revelations. All these these are flashbacks, that blows my mind.
Yeah.
I'm only positing that they could possibly be flashbacks.
Well, I mean, even the fact
because
that
it's not made
even
clear.
the fact that they might be is insane.
It would certainly help the movie.
Point out like a continuity or goof in this scene.
Well, I know which one you're going to mention, so let me just mention something before you get to that.
Okay, I'm excited.
I just wrote the note, Mildred is life, because she is probably the best actor in this movie. She's fantastic. We have 3 extras in the restaurant who are just staring ahead, waiting for Arthur to fill their drinks, clearly not doing anything. Like, nothing. They're just sitting there like a bunch of fucking dummies. Like, mannequins.
Okay, what?
Sam couldn't be like, look, just look like you're talking to each other. Say peas and carrots and broccoli a lot, but really low.
Why didn't he just get, like, the other two to, like, sit together or something? Like, something to make it look slightly more natural.
What type of restaurant?
Yep.
The uniform consists of sandals and socks. Can you explain that
Oh
to
my
me?
god. Here's my note for that. Sandals and socks? I thought he was gay.
Yes. I questioned it. I looked him up. Apparently he's gay in real life. But that made me question it. I was like, how can you be gay if you decided to wear sandals and socks? That is a fashion faux pas that you should have seen coming.
Yeah, I don't, I guess, being fashionably inept is not tied to your sexuality, because apparently gay people can make that atrocious mistake as well.
Yep.
Married, I got 2 kids, I would never wear sandals and socks because that looks ridiculous.
So tell us about your continuity with Mildred.
Yeah, so like when it points to like Mildred and she's like, a little bit more coffee, whatever. In back of her, there's originally a guy sitting there. Okay, it gets like a close up of Mildred's face. He's gone. He's not there anymore.
He's absolutely gone.
He's out of the shot completely.
You were watching this movie far too closely.
The other extras
point out the weird things.
were gone.
Oh, there's more. There's more. I have way more.
So now Arthur basically quits.
Go on.
Arthur basically quits his job because Ben says, "Yeah, if you're not happy, like do what you need to do."
Well, actually, before he does that, when he's talking to Mildred, he comes up to her, "Oh, how are you doing?" and then just walks away.
Yep.
Just asks her how she's doing, doesn't she? And he walks away before she gets a chance to answer.
Yeah, exactly. So
he has a domestic degree. What's a domestic degree? This movie's breaking me. It's breaking me right now.
Domestic degree?
That line is spoken at some point. I believe Arthur mentions that he has a domestic degree. Again, it might have been terrible ADR. He might have a different degree, because I know Ben didn't have a degree in arson.
So he's Arthur and Mildred have this great conversation. He says, "Is that enough for you? Whatever." It's like the weirdest. Like, they're not human. Like, it's like aliens trying to figure out how humans talk in that scene.
I'm gonna tell your boss on you.
That'll show him.
That'll show him.
Arthur walks off, and then we get this might be my favorite scene in the entire movie,
where he's going through the papers, hitting the bricks for new work.
What the hell is with that? Okay, let me just say.
Oh, that's I think that's where this came up, because he was looking through the ads, and one of them was for a domestic.
Oh, okay.
Like, a maid or a butler. And he says he's talking on the phone. He says he has a degree.
I think he says no, I don't have a degree.
Yeah, he said no, I don't have.
Okay, there. He doesn't have a degree. Is that a
maintenance
thing?
Degree?
A degree in being a maid? A degree in being a
Oh, I don't have a housemaid degree.
In this scene, he completely has like full makeup.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's
Too,
wearing
like nice lipstick. You know,
he's
like,
wearing
nice
lipstick. He's wearing shiny face makeup.
Like, damn.
He goes from looking for a job to looking for an apartment.
Thank you. That's what I was just gonna say. He goes twice, and he was just like looking for apartments, and I was like, what the hell is this?
He does, however, go to an audition.
Oh god.
Oh, this
is my favorite.
Nearly died laughing.
I don't even think we can do it justice, but he dances for an audition.
No music.
No music.
No
No,
music.
you don't need music. Just dance. So he dances for an audition at a nightclub that's not open yet, and the best thing is you can hear this.
Him making the music.
He dances around terribly, and then the sleazy nightclub owner says, "Okay, that's great. Now, let's see your penis."
And drinking like a boons. Drinking boons.
Yeah, he's having the owners clear a couple sheets to the wind. But you said it was a nightclub. Are you sure
It might be a strip
it
club.
wasn't a strip
Yeah,
club?
probably that's what it is.
Okay, and if it was, why would it be so outrageous that they'd want to see the equipment he's packing?
I don't.
I have a feeling that if a woman goes to audition or apply for a job at a strip joint, that at one point they're going to at least ask to see her breasts, if not more. Because guess what? You're going to be taking your clothes off for money.
You just have a scene
And-
where Arthur is like, you want me to get naked at this strip club?
That would have been hilarious. I would have laughed super hard at that dialogue. I would have been like, that is like the shining beacon of comedy in this movie. That would have been perfect.
Why apply at a strip club though if you don't want to, fuck.
Again, I
You're
don't know.
trying to find
But
logic in the abyss.
I know.
The setting, the mirrored ball, and the shredded silver tinsel curtains screamed strip club to me.
Oh yeah, you mean the ones he probably bought for about $3 at the local Lawtons?
I wouldn't be surprised if he went to someone he knew who worked at a local strip club and said, "Do you mind if we shoot this like 5-minute scene in your strip club during some of the off hours?"
Probably one of the best scenes in the locations of the movie. That church though.
Yeah. It's one of the few scenes where I believe that they were actually in the location they were supposed to be in.
That's true. So, okay. So, yeah, he goes from looking for jobs to looking for apartments, which makes absolutely no sense. But then he arrives at his...
Oh, actually, before we do that, you guys did mention earlier about how when Arthur danced to no music, and then the club owner asked to see his penis. Funny story, and it's a fun fact about how did this get, or what were they thinking, rather.
What you're talking about there.
It's a fun fact about what were they thinking, and that's exactly how I got this podcasting gig.
Oh my god.
I don't know what you're talking about. That didn't happen. So.
That's definitely how I got it.
Yeah, I made Mariah show me your penis.
Yep. Pretty impressive. Pretty.
Way better than my joke. That was way better than my joke.
See, I feel like if you're gonna be on the air, even just through audio, I gotta know what you're packing. I gotta know the confidence level you're starting at, because then
you gotta know what kind of mic you have if you catch what I'm saying.
Hey! Yeah, we're all just talking into our penises, guys.
Even Mariah, apparently.
Oh, Mariah, yeah. Trust me, she didn't get the job because it was small.
Wow.
All right.
Let's move on.
Yep.
Oh wait, that's not in this movie. Okay, we should get back to the movie. You're right.
Let's please.
I feel we've milked this for all it's worth.
Jesus. So let's go to Victor, the gay, straight Christian Bible thumper.
Who is Fred Armisen's closeted
Yes.
Thank you.
religious cousin.
Fred Armisen, doing a character on SNL. I gotta say too, when they
Or Portlandia.
is this the strangest first interaction scene between like two people who are supposedly brothers? Because he
Hi,
says, "Are you Victor?" "Yes." "Who are you?" "I'm Arthur, your brother." "Oh, I haven't seen you in 7 years." Guess what? You wouldn't change all that much in 7 years. You would fucking recognize. How does he not recognize Victor?
Victor, also the guy that killed his.
That's later.
His boyfriend
No,
or something,
his
wasn't
friend when he was
Spoiler alert.
Whatever.
Yeah. The I think the reason why Ben maybe would have been unrecognizable
You mean Victor?
is that,
Arthur?
yes, but no, because this doesn't Victor say Arthur is unrecognizable. He hadn't seen him in so long.
You said Ben. I was just saying Arthur. It's okay.
Sorry,
It's okay.
Arthur. The reason why Victor did not recognize Arthur is, I guess, Arthur got glasses that he wears in his sporadic on again, off again. Or it's like Clark Kent and
There
Superman.
you go. So Victor, what you're saying is Victor is Christian Lois Lane.
Maybe Christian Lex
Oh,
Luthor,
there you go.
because he is the villain in this
I thought he
movie.
was the love interest. Okay, what did I watch?
He should have been.
Actually, I was just saying this to Mariah the other day. It would have made, casting-wise, it would have made almost more sense to have Victor, the guy playing Victor and the guy playing Ben as the couple, with the guy playing Arthur as the Christian Bible thumper.
Yeah.
Either actually, for me, it would have made the most sense for the fellow who was playing Ben to be the hardline Christian brother, because, like I said, he is the only one in this movie that doesn't come off, to me anyways, as full-on out and proud.
Yeah. That's true. I don't think he is. And this is his only credit, by the way.
That's
It's
unfortunate.
very unfortunate. I feel like
He looks like he had at least some raw talent that he could have gotten something.
a young Tom Hanks, if you will.
Yep.
Bosom buddies with Peter Scolari.
Yeah, Arthur was the Peter Scolari to his Tom Hanks. So, okay, so yeah, he talks with Victor because he wants to borrow $2,000 to go back to college so he can get his business degree, and he doesn't tell him this, but it's to open up his own little mom and pop porno shop, as we mentioned earlier. I don't know now, Nathan. I don't know if you guys got this, Nathan or Mariah, because it's really subtle. But the way they tell you that Victor's character is religious, did you notice how they kind of did that? Like right off the bat, a visual clue.
Go
Could
ahead.
it be that he was holding the Holy Bible?
I did not notice the Holy
I'm
Bible.
going to say something.
He was holding it. He wears a bathrobe. When he sits down, he's got the Holy Bible in his hands.
Okay, we got another continuity thing here. When he sits down, there's a black cat beside him, and then it cuts to this lovely Bible. He's holding the Bible, and the cat is right in front of him now.
The cat is a teleporter.
Yep, it is teleporting all over the place.
What? How do you know it wasn't another cat? Because he easily got 4 of
He
them.
does have a lot of cats.
It's still the black cat.
And a dog.
And a dog, yeah. We all see each other in that one scene.
I love...
This is how much of a fundamentalist Christian he is. He's gathering 2 of each animal.
He is building an ark. Oh my god, that would have been an amazing subplot.
Yes. He's Noah.
It's just
Victor,
with amazing window treatments.
Victor, I've noticed you started gathering up 2 of every animal. It's not important. You're gay. We gotta chase away the demons. He has the most stereotypical straight voice, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
that
trying
he is
to
putting
sound
on, like it is the biggest put on.
What?
It's the biggest put on.
Yeah.
The voice, it's the biggest put on. Yeah.
He's trying to sound like manly.
Like you said, it's
almost,
stereotypical.
Like stereotypically manly.
Yep.
And
which is funny because we had actually made a joke about that before we went on about how I don't feel feelings. I'm a man and who wants a beer?
Yeah, exactly. It's like Arthur, put the lotion in the basket. Like that's what it reminded me of. I was like, is he gonna skin him?
Debbie.
If this movie ends with Victor skinning Arthur, better movie.
Oh, it's Levine, Ted Levine, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
Victor Levine.
Yeah. Sounds of the Lambs. Very good.
Thank you. So he basically says, I'll give you $8,000 if you bring Ben over here and have dinner with me and respect Jesus. And Arthur's like, cool. So, holy fuck, we're not even like 30 minutes into this movie.
Let's talk about the worst fan letter ever.
Oh god.
Oh, and you mean how Ben looks at it and it's clearly a blank piece of paper?
Yep, that's another continuity.
Yeah.
The one that says don't get married, we're gonna kill you or something like that, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because apparently they are they're a lightning rod of controversial activity in California.
Yeah. No gay people in California.
They're in California. They're in California. If they're in Los Angeles, a pretty solid gay community, especially in the 2000s.
Wait a second.
If they're anywhere else,
You
what?
mean like there's gay people in Hollywood, in and around Hollywood?
yeah, that's the urban legend, anyways.
Whoa. Revelations on this podcast.
They're like in New York with the alligators in the sewers. No one can really prove that they're there, but everyone speculates and is pretty sure that they're there.
Fucking alligators and gay people in the sewers of Los Angeles is what you're saying.
God.
Jesus Christ! All right, let's not get off the rails
Okay.
here, because this is the part. So we're going to try to get this. Oh, before we do, why is there a mattress underneath their breakfast nook?
I didn't notice that.
There's a mattress standing up against the wall in their like breakfast nook of their kitchen / like the
my God.
apartment, like into the living room where you would sit down at like the counter and have breakfast. Underneath that, there's a mattress. I just want to put that out there because these are the things that are going to drive me insane if I don't put them out there into the ether. There, it's done. We don't have to talk about
That's
it.
amazing.
They decide to call a lawyer.
Him.
And yes, Ben says, I'll call a lawyer. He's great, or he's good, or I'll call him tomorrow. The next day, the lawyer shows up. It's a
On
woman.
the couch, like talking normally on the couch.
Well, talking normally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So here's where I posit to you that this movie is not only sensitive to the plight of gay men, but also to trans.
I wonder if that's what they tried to get across. I'm not even joking.
I think they just fucked up the
I don't know,
continuity.
man.
Yeah.
Flashbacks and secret transgender characters.
You know what? If we could figure it out, if we could suss it out, if this was the legit way things were, I would have to change my mind on old Sam and his movie making abilities to go from utterly inept to diamond in the rough genius.
Oh, good lord. I don't think Sam would be that hard to get a hold of, I'm just saying.
You probably look him up in the phone
He did
book.
call earlier, so. So yeah, this lawyer character. What? Okay, I mentioned this earlier to you when we were talking about the movie off the air. We're in our lush studio here, but is she doing it? Does she have an accent, or is she just delivering her lines in a really bizarre way?
I think she's just delivering lines in a really bizarre and stilted way because she is easily the worst actor in
And
this
how
movie.
about the worst lawyer? Because one of her first lines is, "I'm gonna have to read up on the law more."
And she also uses the term rejects to recognize it.
This, I just wrote, when she was talking about that stuff, I just wrote legal mumble jumble because I had no clue what she was saying.
I think that what they were trying to get is either rejects the application or refuses to recognize it. And it got mishmashed to rejects to recognize it, which makes no sense. None.
Zero. They go to Vermont.
Which is filled with palm trees and Spanish architecture, as I said before.
Beautiful palm
Stock,
trees in Vermont.
Stock footage of a plane.
And
Oh yeah.
oh my
Did you notice
God.
what was set? What it said on the plane?
When it was
I did
leaving.
not, but I did start humming "Thank You for Being a Friend" when I saw it.
Let me just tell you that when we see them ride back on the plane that they are supposedly on says FedEx.
It literally does. And it's going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
from that they've flown in.
They apparently got onto a luggage plane.
Probably
They
really
sent
cheap.
themselves courier.
Their financial situation, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, their financial situation, they were able to go to Vermont, I guess, even though they saved for so long to go to Hawaii. Non-refundable tickets. Holy fuck, this movie.
Palm trees in Vermont.
Well, that's how they were able to go to Vermont. They FedExed themselves.
So, inexplicably, when they're in Vermont, neither of them has the ring. That's never gone back to.
No.
He's like, did you bring the rings?
Because
Did you bring the ring? Oh, I didn't bring the ring. That's it. It's not even like I don't know why that scene's in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm guessing for like, you know,
Padding the film.
for an attempt at comedy.
I guess so. There's no joke though.
Well, you always see that as one of those, you know, tropey things in sitcom weddings or something like that, where they're like, someone's like, they're panicked looking for the ring, and then they usually find the ring, but it's like, I didn't bring the ring. Did you bring the ring? Who brought the ring?
But there's no
you know,
yeah. There's
And
not
it's
even a
yeah.
smiling.
It doesn't go anywhere. There's no setup. There's no delivery. There's no punch.
There's no conflict.
It's
There's
awful.
no conflict because they're like,
Nope.
oh, we don't have the rings. Can we still get married? The priest is like, yep.
And Arthur's like smiling.
Oh, yes.
Too. He's like.
And is it?
cool.
Am I the only one who felt like that priest looked like, you know, Anton LaVey or somebody from the Church of Satan?
Oh my god.
I'm not familiar with his work.
Well, he just the minister. He looked like he did not look like a minister that would be conducting, especially one in Vermont.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that
But again,
so far in this movie, he is probably the best actor.
They're not in Vermont.
No. But again, I still think he's the best actor so far.
I thought the lady Mildred was the best
Okay.
actor so far.
I don't mean ironically.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they get married, but Arthur says, "Oh, they won't recognize our marriage back in
And
California."
that scene
let's
has, like,
let's discuss You May Now Kiss. It is the worst gay kiss
well,
ever.
Again, this supports your theory because I don't think Ben was too keen on kissing Sam Maravich.
No, and I do have a note though. Their second kiss in the movie is more convincing than their marriage kiss.
It sure is. And that's the
And then some more B-roll of planes taking off.
FedEx.
And isn't there like a scene
Yep.
like after this where they're both like talking at a park and like it just sounds like a bunch of water, like
Yeah,
Maybe you wanna
it
go
sounds
to
like
the
someone
bathroom.
pissing in the background.
Yeah.
the dog barking too.
And then we get to the trans lawyer, who again is just terrible. And at one point,
Sorry.
she's straight up reading the script.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like, according to this legal document I have, aka the script.
Right here in my hands, and she doesn't look away from it as she's delivering the lines. She's straight up reading the script. But this is the point where we find out that it might be easier for them to to keep their, you know, their union
Yeah.
legal because it's a civil union, not a marriage, which I explained earlier.
And this scene too, you see Ben mug to the camera and accidentally look at it.
Yeah. He looks straight at the camera. Just right at it.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, holy shit. We got so much left. Okay, go back to Victor. We go back to Victor. Because...
Oh, who gets gayer, more stereotypically gay with every shot?
He's wearing a backwards hat and a muscle shirt. He, basically, at this point, he's trying to reach Arthur. He can't reach him because he doesn't want him to get married, obviously, because he's Christian fundamentalist, anti-gay, blah, 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 blah. So he calls a private investigator... And he looks in the thrilling looking up in the phone book scene. Invites this private investigator over, who looks like he just stepped out of another like porn film. I think.
Yes.
And he goes into they go into their dining room, which is a beautiful restaurant decor.
Okay, can we talk about like the way they shot that? Like the lead up, like his car pulls in.
Yeah.
And then the camera is somehow on the ground pointing up at this guy.
Yep.
And then boom, he's right ready to go at the door. Door.
He walks towards it in the parking lot, and then suddenly he's like right in front of the door.
He's probably waiting for this cue too. I didn't really.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't really
Why do
pay
they
attention to
start?
that.
Why do they start every phone call in this movie with "Hey, blank, it's me, blank," and then relationship to your character? Like,
It reminds me of when my mom calls me. Sometimes she leaves a voicemail and she says, "Hey mom, hey Mariah, it's mom," and I'm like, "Yeah, no shit."
like I'm not gonna call you and be like, "Hey Nathan, it's me, Brendan, your podcast co-host."
No. Hey, Nathan. It's Brendan. That rash cleared up. Thanks.
Exactly. Wait, what?
It didn't though.
No, it totally didn't.
Still there.
Did you use the cream every day?
No, I didn't.
Every other day, didn't you? I told you every day, Brendan. Every day.
I telling him.
I have chores.
I don't care. You need to make time. You need to make time for your health.
I'm sorry. I know you care. Thanks for caring.
All right.
So, okay,
Let's
the
get back to the
investigator. He also says, "Hi, I'm the investigator."
Oh, really? His intern?
Yeah, I'm the intern. It's $800 a day. Is that is that normal? I don't know. Sure.
I don't know. I do know that they will say that it's, X amount of dollars a day plus expenses. 800 does seem high, especially for the intern.
Clearly he's not a very smart intern, because Victor says, "Here's 500 for now, and I'll totally give you the rest later."
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Totally, absolutely. You can totes, trust me, totes.
Totes, and Victor totes. Okay. This is the thing with this movie. He goes. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna get. I don't agree with you on a moral level, of like trying to stop your brother from getting married, but I'll do it anyway." So instead of cutting away,
if you're gonna be a PI, I mean, that's what you kind of got to do. You have to take the job that's given to you.
I just like how they have to make that character not agree on a moral level. Like, it's not necessary to anything. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: in any other movie, while he's getting this information, you would cut to other scenes. You know what I mean? Like, other stuff would happen. Then you'd go back to Victor and be like, "Oh, he found out all the information." No, this movie, 2 days later. "Hey, I got your information." "Oh, good." He literally says, "Hi, I'm the investigator. Are you Victor?" "Yes, you're the investigator getting some information for me." Guess what? We just saw that fucking scene. We know.
Well, I mean, earlier in the movie, they used the term ulterior motive and then explained what ulterior motive meant. So
Victor murders the lawyer.
Oh, with some lovely text.
And that's, I think I think one of the reasons why the movie is made so cheaply is that they blew all the budget on that sweet ragtop Mustang.
The one that she can barely drive?
Yeah.
It takes her 10 minutes to park it.
Wasn't that music, like, amazing for that scene?
Oh, well, see, it starts off kind of, like, eerie, and then it's just like...
Yeah. I even have, synth.
Yeah. Yeah, so Victor straight up murders Ben's lawyer. Like, shoots her
yes,
twice.
the only Christian option
Murder.
Was apparently breaking one of the 10 commandments.
I mean, if you gotta stop someone from getting gay married, even though he already got gay married.
Civil union.
Sorry, civil union.
Didn't he like shoot the lawyer like pretty badly? Just like it looked really bad. It was just like, boom, boom. Like,
in case you guys are not, since we don't have video, I will say that Mariah just stuck out her hand like a gun and kind of shook it around a bit and said, "Boom, boom."
Yeah, pointed like a gangster.
Yes, he does look like he has the shakes as
oh my God.
As he's shooting.
Why does this gun look like it's made out of duct tape?
Because it probably is.
So now we get the dinner scene because Arthur takes Ben to dinner. And the dinner scene starts on a character we have not ever seen in the movie.
Oh, yeah, when he goes over to Victor's house for dinner. Yeah.
Mariah and I were really confused at first because we thought it was Arthur and Victor's father.
Yeah, he also wearing makeup.
I thought it was.
What's that?
I thought it might have possibly been Victor's closeted
Well, that
boyfriend.
too. Later, I started to think that too. He is wearing the shiniest lip gloss. Like, it was distracting.
Let's talk about the lighting in that scene. Okay,
Oh,
so the lighting is so nice. It's like, it's okay. No, I was gonna say it's so nice, but it's not really that nice. But it's like, it's okay on like Victor and like, you know, their dad.
Stan?
Stan, yeah, whatever. And then it was.
I don't understand why you're pulling punches at this point, Mariah. You already called Sam a Fuggo
and then
earlier.
It cuts to Fuggo and Ben, and then it's like the lighting. I'm assuming it's because of the candlelight, right? Because it like, and they're eating Pop-Tarts too.
I guess.
They're eating Pop-Tarts
your
for
guess
dinner.
is as good as mine.
Well, Arthur's
That
holding
was
it.
weird.
It looks like a Pop-Tart.
Yes.
Yum.
Yes, it
They're
does.
just eating, like, bologna.
Because I actually have a note that they're having Pop-Tarts. Are they eating Pop-Tarts for supper?
Financial situation, we don't know.
They have a great argument because Victor is all, I'm sure you'll have some children as soon as you get a beautiful wife, right, Arthur? And he says, he says something to him, and Arthur's reaction is like, "You fuck."
You Fuggo.
Ben.
How many times did you say they F-bombed in this
34
movie? Oh, I thought that maybe they were trying to go for the American History X record.
Yeah, the American History X or the Scarface honorary
Yeah.
record. Does Ben feed him his lines in this scene, and they forgot to cut that out? Did you notice that?
I did
Ben
not.
says,
Please
yeah.
expound.
Ben says, we're leaving, and Arthur says, we're leaving, and Ben's like, we gotta go, and Arthur says, we gotta go.
I did not notice that. I'll be 100% honest in that regard.
Yeah, it's so, and then they have the most awkward ever leaving the scene.
Oh, yes.
And Mariah noticed something I did not pick up on at all as they're leaving.
Yeah. So as
Okay.
they're leaving, and like the awkwardly, like, you know, have one, like Ben has his arm on his back. Anyways, they shut the door, and then they come back. Like, they shut the door, and you, like, they're about to cut, and you see that they actually never left because there's a black shirt that pops up.
They're
So they
still
never
there.
left. They're still there. They
They're
never
still-
left.
They could easily just exit the scene, and they just stay there.
They stayed there.
Grand.
Frig.
I pick up on the weirdest things. Oh my god.
I don't need prayed for. You need prayed for.
You need prayed for. I love that.
And you need prayed for. And you need prayed. Thanks, Oprah.
You need prayed for. This, can we say, this is we have seen some weird sex scenes. This
This was sexy. Makes no
this
sense
is
to me.
barely a sex scene, first of all. And did you get, oh my god, when they open with this scene, because they go home and they make up and apparently make out, but when they cut to them in the dark and he takes off Arthur's glasses, was that not Top Gun?
I was not as invested in that if they were making a Top Gun reference. My only real note in this this whole scene is missionary.
Well,
They're
again,
kissing.
the guy playing Ben, probably not gay.
They were.
That
I mean,
though, like on the back. I
Oh,
was like,
he's just rubbing his back up and down, and they're
rubbing
staring at
Fuggo's
each other.
back. Oh no, wait.
No, Fuggo's rubbing Ben's back.
Yeah, Fuggo's rubbing.
jeez, you guys are working hard on this one, like real stiff.
Unlike
Real stiff.
unlike Ben in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't. Okay, I feel that they could be in a missionary position whilst having sex. However,
Wouldn't that be uncomfortable?
Arthur's legs would have had to have been much farther up in the air.
Oh my god.
I don't want to explore too much of the mechanics of, male on male sexual relations.
Please do.
But there's definitely a positioning thing that would have to be coming into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not just. They're basically just dry humping.
Wouldn't that be uncomfortable?
I guess that
Well,
would be it, which doesn't seem super romantic to do with your husband.
I mean, listeners, let us know. Do you enjoy the act of dry humping?
Well, it's not that it's not enjoyable. I just don't feel it's something you do with a spouse.
Yeah.
Because you're well past that point in the relationship.
Well, especially because they've been together for so long.
Right, so long that Arthur knows about Ben being married for 5/3 years.
Wait, he doesn't.
I thought that this whole love scene was super awkward, and I even mentioned to Brendan. I was like, I'd rather watch Tommy Wiseau.
I don't think I would.
In the room.
I gave
Even
it.
though how much that makes me cringe and it's disgusting, like that was so awkward for me, and I was like, I can't deal with this.
I'm gonna go with a big no on that one. I don't think you can pay me to watch that. Anytime I watch The Room, and I love The Room, I always have to skip through those scenes.
Anytime you make it sound like you watch it on the regular.
I've watched it a lot of times.
Oh my god! Again with the 5 times watching this movie, you're never getting that time back, Brendan. You need to do more productive things in your life.
I'm so glad I used all my time on this movie. So, okay. Then we let's skip along here because after the sex scene, Arthur goes off to get food, leaves him a little rose, and the psycho bitch comes back. Some psycho bitch named
yes.
Tammy. With a gun. So
right.
And Ben, by the way, Ben is a fucking idiot because she has a gun and he's just like, Tammy, come on, just like relax. She's pointing a gun at your fucking
She's pointing
face.
a loaded gun at your
This
face.
is the point where I said it earlier. I thought it was like I put it in the wrong position because she shows up twice, but this is where she's like, don't leave me for another man, or kind of something like that.
No, she says, don't you left me for another man. I'm like, another man?
Again, this movie is super sensitive towards the trans community.
I feel like everybody should be mad about this movie. Every community.
Well, like I said, if she's saying that Ben left her for another man, that, through basic math, tells us that the crazy psycho bitch is actually formerly a man, now a woman. The reason why they broke up is because she got the sex change operation without consulting Ben, much like Mr. Garrison got his sex change and didn't consult Mr. Slave.
Oh my god.
There are so many layers. So many.
Breaking this down. We are getting this movie solved.
I never even predicted that this was going to happen.
This is changing my life right now.
My life is like, when I think back on my life from this point forward, I'm going to think pre-Ben and Arthur podcast and post-Ben and Arthur podcast.
That's what I do, Brendan. I change lives.
Man. So they fumble over the gun with some tremendous sound effects.
With chip bags.
Chip bags and like cartoonish sounding punches, it almost sounds like. Yeah, so anyway, he gets rid of her.
And she splits her pants.
She splits her pants, yeah.
She's a cut. I was like, oh, she gotta cut her pants.
He gets rid of her. Arthur comes back, and his amazing, whoa, man.
Yeah, whoa, man. It drops the bag.
Ben says...
Well, what he was really saying there was, woman.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we're getting this movie solved. We're getting this movie solved.
Ben used to be a woman?
That's gonna be stupid. I'm gonna say this.
No.
Yeah, okay, this is gonna sound kind of stupid, but this is the second time where he's gone to get food. Why don't they have groceries? Because remember there's a scene where he was like, "Yeah, give me Skittles and Twinkies."
That's not yet.
Whatever, but still, they need to get groceries.
Yeah, he does go for groceries twice in a short span of time.
What Mariah's really getting at here is that they need to eat more healthy.
Yeah, well, okay.
Need to eat better.
You know what? To hell with it. Let's just mention it now. Yeah, when he does go get food later, Ben says, "Can you give me some Skittles and some Twinkies and some soda?" Because apparently he's diabetic.
We're looking to be.
Okay, so yeah, Arthur's like, He finds out Tammy came in with a gun, and he says, "Oh, she's just a crazy psycho bitch. We should call the cops." And Ben says, "Nah."
Yeah, she was just brandishing a weapon and threatening my life, but nah.
We're good.
Yeah. No, we cleared it all up. We talked, and yeah, we're good.
I also think this scene could almost be right out of an intentional comedy coming up, because they find out that the lawyer's been killed and kind of react to it for a second, and then someone knocks on the door and they're like, "Oh, who's that?"
Yeah, that was the scene where they find out that the lawyer died. That was the second scene where we find out that I noticed that Ben looked at the camera.
He sure did.
Yeah.
And for some inexplicable reason, the only reason I can think is that they didn't have enough people to be in the cast. Mildred comes back, and for some reason is in their same apartment building, and is also the person that tells you when your stuff gets broken into.
Did she live there too?
And also, wait, does the lawyer live there? Because did that happen when Victor killed the lawyer?
Yeah, it looked like it was at like the parking garage at their place.
Yeah. Okay, so she was pulling in to see them?
Maybe, I guess. Sure.
Why did
not?
Victor steal Ben's bike? Don't understand.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't go
don't
back to
understand
that.
that plot point.
It doesn't go back to the bike at all.
No.
He needs to get a new bike, he doesn't like...
Yeah, but so Ben loses his bike. He gets very mad at Arthur for not locking it.
God.
And he straight up punches him in the face.
You can go by 100. You hurt me. You hurt me. That's literally what he said.
And they do this whole thing talking about Ben's coming out story, which the dialogue there is just insane. Like, there's so many contradictions.
I think what you guys are really driving at here is that this movie would have worked better as a Netflix original series.
For sure.
Like a documentary series, kind of like, Making a Murderer or Keepers. Like...
Making a terrible movie.
Making a murderer of cinema. But yeah. So Ben punches him in the face, and then this line threw me because he's recovering, and Ben says, "Well, that'll teach you to not say stupid things."
Okay, and the stupid thing is, because we never mentioned it, he said, "Oh, why don't you take out that $1 million, the
life insurance.
I just got a life insurance policy, and if anything happens to me, you'll get $1 million. Guess what?
Worst Norwich Union commercial ever.
That's not how that works." But he punches. Ben's abusive. Because he tells it after he punches him, he says, "That'll teach you not to say stupid things."
And we see him. His eyes are like he's waking up, and the camera is right on Ben's face. And then you see, because we're supposed to be in the eyes of Arthur, right? So yeah, okay.
The eyes of an Arthur.
Exactly. So back to.
Wow, she was super dismissive of my musical cue there.
So yeah, we go back to Arthur, and he's like, Ben is like, kind of, like, it's the scene is kind of weird.
It doesn't make sense.
Just this one.
It doesn't
just
make
that
sense
one.
with the way he sees
Thank
it and
you.
the way we see it. Is what she's trying to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But okay, no, I want to go back to this abusive relationship thing because.
Well, I think what Sam was really trying to say in this part is that he's trying to shine a light on the height of domestic abuse amongst gay and lesbian couples, because there's no power structure up or down, because it's a male relationship or a female relationship. So domestic violence amongst gay and lesbians can actually sometimes be predominantly higher because there's no stigma, because you're not assaulting the other sex. That's what he's trying to say clearly in his more competent filmmaking. Again, getting this movie solved.
Yes, I'm sure every bit of that was what he was trying to say. I felt like Sam, but it felt so like the way he said it, they didn't harp on it, and it felt so normalized that I was almost like, does Sam Maravich think this is a normal thing in a relationship? I was like,
he's just trying to shine a light on that problem that that affects the gay community. On a unrelated note, did Tammy ever strike you guys as looking a bit like Elizabeth Berkley? That big fluffy hair of hers. It's very Jesse Spano.
Jesse Spano?
Sorry. I just wanted to bring it back to a lighter place.
Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
Also, her eyes are kind of weird.
Yeah.
So mean.
Wouldn't it have been a great twist if she was actually Arthur in disguise the whole movie?
Arthur in disguise.
Hey,
Arthur in
That's
disguise.
what you
Oh, different Arthur. Never mind.
Yeah, that's not the same Arthur.
So.
Alright, so those two fucking guys go on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Victor goes to the cardboard church.
Oh God, the church.
With the priest.
Is there a recipe for holy water?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Like, with a little bit
Apparently
of
there
salt
is.
and pepper.
And apparently you can just tape
the
it to
priest
someone's
has
door
a
and they'll
recipe
drink
for
it.
holy water.
Yep. And you can just tape it to someone's door.
Oh my God, that made me so mad. Oh my God, that
What
scene.
did he think was gonna happen?
Okay, how stupid do you think that we are, the viewers, to think, or even like Arthur, that he could be like, oh, there's somebody taped this bottle onto my door. Looks delicious.
Might as well drink it.
Well, whatever.
I know when I
Could be
was
anything.
when I was a youngin', my parents always told me, "Hey, if you ever open your door when you're living on your own, you ever go out to do whatever, and you see someone's taped a random liquid to your door, make sure to drink it."
This reminds me of like a PSA that they had in like the 90s or something. It's with like these blue characters, and
Don't
they're
you
like,
put it in your mouth.
Don't you put it in your mouth?
Don't you
Yes.
stuff it in your
Anybody
face?
who is Canadian knows that PSA
It's
quite well.
Wonderful. It actually kind of gave me nightmares. Yeah.
See, I was at that fantastic age of junior high to high school, where that PSA served as the best unintentional comedy ever.
It was really funny.
I mean,
Well,
ever.
watching it back years later, it was really funny when I wasn't completely clear-headed.
like a muffin or a beat.
You could get sick.
ick.
Wait, is that
Real
public domain?
sick. Ick.
Are we gonna have to pay
I
for
don't know.
that?
It's a public service announcement, so I
Oh,
guess it would be.
Alright.
Anyways.
Okay, so
Anyhow.
Cardboard Church.
This is where they try to ban. Isn't this where they try to ban Victor
Yes,
from the church?
The priest, who later
Because his brother's gay, and for some reason his brother
might
being
rub off on the
gay,
children, even though
Right.
he's never at the church.
right? Because through some sort of transitive
Mm-hmm.
property, the gayness might go from Arthur to Victor and then rub off on the children. This is the part where I feel like they're proud of themselves for trying not to use stereotypes, which they fail at, and then just go ahead and use a ton of stereotypes on religious Christians, because there's no moderates in this movie at all.
No.
Ben is the closest we get to a moderate anything. Everybody else is way to one side.
You could argue.
Oh, Mildred.
You could fucking Mildred. You could argue that almost every character, I'd argue except one, if they're not a gay character, they are a murderer or like horrible.
Or Mildred.
No, but Mildred is kind of horrible, though. The only scene we see her in is her just, like, yelling at Arthur. But, like, the only character I would say that doesn't apply to is maybe the detective, because he's pretty level-headed. But everyone who's not gay in this movie is, like, an awful human being.
How about that private investigator? He said that he was morally wrong what he was doing.
Yeah, but he still does it.
Well, he's wrong because he's morally ambiguous.
Yeah, you can't be ambiguous. You gotta be,
Gotta pick a side. That's what this movie's telling us.
That is the message of this movie. Okay, so he goes to the priest. The priest kicks him out for his brother being gay. He mentions
His priest has a holy tackle box. There was a tackle box on the
he's
table.
probably a fisherman. Probably just some random fisherman they got to play a priest.
Or a fisher of men.
Oh.
Because, yeah. See?
He also
Getting this movie
He
solved.
also mentions karma, which is not a Christian thing.
No, it's not a Christian concept at all. But the concept of you reap what you sow is, I mean, it's not called karma, but I mean, it's the same
Right.
idea.
But they definitely don't refer to it like that.
Which they ignore entirely, because if you're saying, if there's the idea behind you reap what you sow is like what you put out there does come back to you. If you're putting out animosity and hatred towards anybody, that animosity and hatred is going to be coming back to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, the idea that they should at least have some sort of tolerant worldview is right there in front of them and is ignored.
This movie, Nathan,
It says a lot without saying anything at all.
it almost says too much.
Yeah.
So Victor gets kicked out. He freaks the fuck out, and
He gets kicked out of church
right
now.
now. He
Kicked
tells
out of church
Stan,
now.
his friend Stan, that
Which is
he
the exact line reading from the... Ugh.
that he's going to kill Arthur.
And when they say that, and he talks about, about the going to prison or doing time for it, someone says you can't go to church in prison.
Yep.
Everybody goes to church in prison. How many times have you heard, so-and-so, they went to prison and found
Guess
God?
what? In the show Oz, they had church.
They had church. They had Muslim observances. There was priests and ministers and nuns and imams. Everything. There were Jewish people. You can have your religion whilst in prison. Not saying that you should go to prison and test out this theory, but it's not something that can be denied to you in Canada or in the U.S.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But, I mean, we're talking about a movie that posits the idea about someone being a holy hitman.
Well, Victor does... That's right. Victor does say, when he says, you can't go to church in prison, Victor says, yes, I can. So, the priest basically says at this point, you know what? I can help you, but I'll get back to you later. It took God's 7 days to create the world. I think it's all right if I get back to you later tonight.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Also, this guy is probably the second best actor so far.
Next to Mildred.
Wait, no, next to the guy that I mentioned earlier. I forget.
No, you said Mildred. Mildred was the best person in this movie. You can't take it back, Brendan.
Fucking Mildred.
That's how a lot of people felt, I think.
She is delightful. Yep. Okay. So, Ben and Arthur are on their honeymoon. And at a hotel, I guess, a pool. Arthur does his little run. That can't be. I don't.
Who wears a suit jacket poolside?
Yeah, that too. And it looks like it's like 80 degrees out. Like, why are you wearing a suit? So I'm to understand that you can be on call at the hospital but not work for them?
Yes, because he says that, like, there's no point where we ever discover that he took a job as a nurse.
He just has his degree.
This is a scene where they where his phone rings and he goes like, bah, bah. My theory is that he put it in there.
You should explain more what happens here. Hold on.
That was the best.
Ahead,
okay, so
his phone rings.
And then you hear bring, like somebody's actually saying bring.
But what is Arthur doing when he's
his head is in his like legs.
Yeah.
So he's like, his head is like just covered, and I'm like, my theory is that they put it in there for editing, so they can put that stupid noise in there and pretend that it's the phone ringing. But Brendan thinks something differently.
I think that, as much as I want that to be true, I think it might also be Arthur making fun of the fact that maybe Ben's phone is always ringing, but they don't set it up that Ben's always answering the phone beforehand.
I think it's more apt that they had set that up, that was supposed to be the cue, and they didn't cut the movie right. That's
what Mariah's saying.
Yep.
I hope that's true.
Or, I mean, really, what they could be saying is that, he's calling from inside himself, trying to reach out. And
oh my god. I'm done. This is my last one. Blow my mind.
Mariah just walked out of the room. She's done.
See you later. I'm back.
Okay, so, oh my god. Okay, we are getting close, guys. We are getting close.
We're into like American Ninja territory. Yeah. We've officially gone past the runtime of this movie. We've been talking longer about this movie than this movie ran.
But I don't want to cut this down.
You haven't been mentioning your pointless scenes yet.
Oh, I know. I wrote a lot of things that's just like pointless scene. Like I don't get why they happen.
Keep going, man. Just shine on, you crazy diamond.
Like, the first one was the rings. I didn't get why that led to nothing. When they go to their honeymoon, they talk about which one of them is going to drive the car. That was nothing. The priest can only get back to him later tonight. Doesn't mean anything. Here's another one coming up. Because Victor gets into Arthur. Okay, wait, hold on. Did we skip over Ben getting the shit beat out of... Oh, that's a little bit.
Spoiler.
Okay, hold on. So Victor goes into Arthur's apartment. He just walks in, I think. I don't remember. But he...
I have thrilled to the elevator scene, so I'm guessing there was an elevator scene in there.
The elevator just stands there for a while. But he goes in to... I don't even remember what he does. Why is he going into Arthur's apartment? He goes into... right, because he has a gun, and he's going to kill him, but he opts not to. And we get a moment here that I swear to God was right out of an episode of The Office. Because just the delivery. When Arthur says, when Victor says, "Hey, I heard you're running a porno shop." Wait a second. What? First of all,
he never opened it. We never see him open it.
Porno shop. We've never even heard of him running a porno shop. So if that's true, that is...
Other than his dream being to open up a mom and pop one.
Yeah. Oh, bring your kids. Come on in.
Which, yeah, that's the oddest choice of words when it comes to like opening up, an independent anything. If you're gonna open up an independent porn store, just say I like to open my own, adult bookstore, my own adult novelty store. No one thinks of the mom and pop porn shop.
To be fair, he never says mom and pop, but he does say my own little porno shop in that little like folksy way.
Yeah,
which I interpret it as mom and pop.
Yeah, this private investigator is shit because he totally doesn't have a shop.
So okay, no. So this is the thing. So I think he just wanted his $800. So he so this is the moment from that just reminded me of The Office for some reason. He tells him about the porno shop, and Arthur says, "How did you know that?" And when they cut back to Victor, he's like, "Because I hired a private investigator." His delivery is The Office. Like, it reminded me of a comedic moment in The Office. Just the way he says it, like it's almost like Dwight, like Rainn Wilson from The Office.
Oh yeah, and okay.
I was just like, I don't know. The Office came after this, so maybe they were inspired by Ben and Arthur.
Yeah.
The American Office. Yes, when did the British one come out?
2001, I want to say.
So this would have been
yeah,
after.
It's so Dwight though. it's so like specifically Rainn Wilson. I don't know. That's just something I thought.
Nothing rhymes with orange. False. Nothing doesn't sound anything like orange at all.
Yes, exactly. That's a lot. That's a line in this movie, right? Oh, and I have here a note that says Arthur is homosexual carrot top.
Oh my God.
Because of all the props.
He gives him a dildo and a bottle of lube. Because he says, "Yeah, here, why don't you take this and this lube and shove it up your ass?" He says, "Hold on," goes off to get the dildo and the lube and gives it to his...
Oh my God.
That's gross.
Oh, Mariah.
It's probably used.
That's the least of our worries in this movie.
That's actually the first thing she said when this happened. She's like, "It looks used."
Probably is. It was a big one though. Holy crap. Anyways.
Well, actually.
Oh, here's my next pointless scene. Arthur is inexplicably vacuuming.
Yeah, with his sandals and socks.
I actually have a note. Blatant Dirt Devil product placement here.
That's how they got their...
Like their only sponsor.
That's how they got their money.
Well, I'm guessing that Sam, when he pitched it, was like, look, this movie's gonna suck. So
much.
what we need is we need a product that sucks as much as our product sponsor.
Jesus.
That's amazing.
Getting this movie solved. Getting this movie solved.
Fucking movie. So Ben gets the shit beat out of him off screen by
Hey, buddy.
by Victor's little friend, I guess. Or by the guy that the priest sets him up with. So now I'm being 100% serious. I think the detective coming up here is actually a legitimate actor. I think he does a fine job. I'm not even joking.
All right.
Are you disagreeing?
Okay. I didn't know. I'm just go. Yep. All right.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, for better. Damn right, fine.
Brendan, this movie's making you unnecessarily adversary.
But you know what, Nathan? No, but this detective, because Ben's not dead, but he goes up to Victor, and Victor is like the worst suspect ever because he says, "Do you know anything about Ben?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's dead, right?"
Oh yeah.
He's like, no,
worst,
he's
yeah.
not dead. He's very much alive. Just need to take you downtown now for sure.
Yeah, because I didn't say anything about him being dead, attacked, murdered. I'm actually from the Internal Revenue Service.
Yeah, I just he filed a missing persons report for you. I mean, I don't know why you thought he was dead.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I think we skipped over the part where he's like Arthur's walking out of the grocery store, and those people are definitely not in the movie. They're not supposed to.
Oh my
be.
god! It was just a
And
one
then just,
shot.
like,
Just a one
and then
shot.
He's walking out, and he puts the bag, like in the weirdest way. Who does that? I tried that. I tried doing it, and the bag broke.
You should explain. You mean like he takes the shopping bag and holds it over his shoulder in the most uncomfortable way possible?
Pretend you're holding a bag.
Like he slung it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like he's moving or something. I don't know.
So my next note is that Arthur is Jason Bourne.
Oh God, where did he plug those headphones into? That's what I want to know.
Because he puts a bug in Victor's phone, which he somehow knows how to do. And then just listens to it in his car on the cheapest headphones money can buy.
This is like the part where he calls him a cunt. I'm sorry, that's a terrible word, but like, what? What?
Yeah, I actually have that. Whoa, he C-bombed twice.
Said, who did you hire to do that to Ben, you fucking cunt?
You fucking cunt.
And then they drop...
Yeah. Well, you can't think it's too bad, Mariah. You've already said it twice now yourself.
There we go.
She
Hypocrite.
drops that all day, man.
No.
Every second word. Victor is Christopher Walken. How dare you talk to me like that? Yeah. This movie is making me warm, but it's probably because there's no fans on. But
It's making me hot.
Yeah, very much so.
Someone gets chloroformed with nail polish remover.
Arthur does it to the priest because he listens into the phone call, finds out the priest is probably behind Ben's beating, chloroforms the priest.
No, he nail polishes removers the priest.
And he says
because that is clearly a nail polish remover.
Arthur says his name is Milton Blomquist.
I thought that was kind of funny that they used Milton, the whole Paradise Lost thing.
I hope that they didn't know what that meant. But
we've already discussed the unrecognized genius that's going on in this movie, so I feel they did that on purpose.
So, Nathan, why don't you tell us the totally sane and level-headed thing that Arthur does in response to finding out this information?
Where he chloroforms
what does
the
he
priest?
do after that?
He runs
Kills him.
And how does he kill him?
What do I got here? Oh, this he burns
sets
him.
him on fucking fire.
Yes, because I have the pouring scene is my note here. Because the pouring scene took forever.
And you can clearly hear that he's just pouring it onto the ground.
And you can also clearly tell that that's not gasoline.
Yeah, it's very obviously water.
It's like a milk jug.
And it's clear liquid.
Yep.
I
Sure
love
is.
that run. I love that run when he runs to the car and like grabs it and then like runs back.
Just looking around to make sure.
Unless he's pouring pure alcohol on it.
I got a question.
Maybe.
Why didn't he just leave it outside the door when he went in the first time?
He didn't know if it was gonna work.
Well, then he could have just taken his bottle and went home.
I also have a note that's not where he parked.
Oh no! Actually,
Continuity.
well, I'm sure all those
damn.
other cars that were there made it so that he had to park there the second time.
Now we cut back. I think we cut back to the apartment now.
Yeah.
And now it's Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow, between the previous scene and this scene, they now have a Happy Halloween banner in their house. But
right on
yeah.
right on the wall.
Arthur gets Ben from the hospital. We have this is my last pointless scene because
It's funny
puts him
because
on
I
the
think that
couch.
they did that just because. I think they did that just because they needed to show a passage of time, and the only way they could think of to do a passage of time is to have a holiday occur,
Yeah. I guess so.
rather than just say, "Oh, you're finally getting out of the hospital after a week or 2 weeks or whatever."
But like he puts Ben on the couch, and Ben's like, "I'm not comfortable. Okay, I'll put you on the bed." What was the purpose of that?
Oh, that was a
That
purposeless
was
scene,
Just show
100%.
that they have two beds.
For nothing. No, but they don't. That was just the couch. He just puts him on the couch, and he's like, "I'm uncomfortable. Okay, I'll put you on the bed." Okay. Why didn't he just put him on the bed in the first place?
Jesus.
Here we go. We are at the finale, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
We are at the finale.
And this is where we talked about the actor who couldn't show up.
Yeah, the what did you call him?
The Holy Hitman.
Oh, it would be great if Timothy Oliphant was playing the role. They couldn't get Timothy Oliphant for this movie. So
I don't know. He does like experimental, filmmaking and
That's
movies. He's a true artiste.
So yeah, Victor goes in. What?
I said he's a true artiste, and you're like, okay, well, he goes in.
Yep, exactly. I meant
That's
every
that.
word of that.
That's this movie
Basically.
essentially. Like, really, it is. It's like you can make a joke, and you're like, it's still happening. All right, let's move on.
So Victor is basically ready to kill everyone. He kills Ben, which
With
Arthur
that-
somehow
oh my God,
doesn't
that
hear.
editing.
But before that, Holy Hitman's there with him. They're there. They're going to do the deed. They get inside the building, and Victor turns towards the camera, looking off to the left or the right. No, he's not talking to anybody, and has to say, "No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to do this myself." Which tells you the actor who plays Holy Hitman could not make it to set that
Which
day.
now I want to see a version of that scene with the Holy Hitman there, because I want to see him just awkwardly standing off to the side while this whole thing develops.
Yeah.
So he kills Ben. He shoots Ben, kills him. Arthur, and we have this weird artsy slow-mo shitty fucking editing.
What? It looked like a Sega CD full motion video death. That's what it looked like. It looked like early FMV from way back in the 90s when if anybody's ever played any of those games on either PC or the Sega CD, it was grainy, choppy, and shitty.
Mm-hmm. So Ben's dead, baby. Ben's dead. And Victor. Fuck! Victor baptizes Arthur in the bathtub.
in the
No,
bathtub.
but not before he
No
makes him get naked.
Ew.
And we see his ass and his man pubes.
Fuck
Ugh.
gets naked.
I just want to point out that you were the one who was upset about at the prospect. The reason why he made this movie is because he was in other softcore gay erotica and never got to be I guess the protagonist or the one who actually got to fall in love or have sex.
But anybody could have like,
Okay.
sex with him, not me. I think he's ugly. And I'm a woman. Cut that.
I am leaving.
We talked about your penis earlier, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do have
that's
a
true.
you do have a pretty big penis. So we baptized them. So thankfully, though, Arthur has another gun in the house.
Where do they have all
Oh,
these guns?
what happened? I gotta ask, what happened to the good replica?
Yeah, I don't know, because there's one good one and one shitty gun.
Like, it is the worst gun replica I've ever. It looks like someone painted a Super Soaker type
It
gun
really
black.
does.
So at this point, it's probably the most disturbing thing in the whole movie.
Oh,
Because
God.
Arthur basically channels the ending of Scarface at this point. Did you get that? The whole not Michelle Pfeiffer,
Yes.
the girl who plays like his yeah. You want to fuck
Elizabeth Masters
yeah,
Antonio.
You want to fuck me, Tony? What you talking? What you talking? Yeah, he basically accuses Victor of wanting to be with him. It's upsetting because they're supposed to be brothers. And
Calm down there,
yeah.
June.
Oof. I'm sorry. Thank you. When Arthur shoots, it's clear that there's like a cigarette in the gun because you see ashes fall out.
Yeah. So that makes total sense why it was a Super Soaker, because you could just easily fit a cigarette in there.
But I think the one Arthur has looks
Trust me,
like
I
the
know.
gun, doesn't it?
No, because the gun that they like the I don't know what happened, but the guns they had, like when the lawyer lady got shot, and earlier in the movie, they look like replicas. This one here has like this weird sight on it that makes it look like a gun that you would get as like a Super Soaker or something in like a dollar store, like at the summertime or something like that, and they just painted it black.
I see a shit gun and I want it painted black.
Need to fool the audience. I need it painted black.
Awesome.
So they kill each other. The end.
I had no idea. I forgot about that whole scene in Scarface. So that watching that, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's
What?
almost some of the dialogue is almost identical. I would like to say at this point that I highly recommend this film 10,000%. If you enjoy having a laugh at terrible filmmaking, this is like the ultimate in terrible
This
filmmaking.
is a film for you.
Oh yes, this.
Even I know you were dreading this, but I know when you watched it, it was a great comedy.
Oh, we had like I said, we had a blast watching it, and I couldn't stop laughing. I just could not.
This is normally the point where we say don't take our word for it. But there are no fucking fucking critics that reviewed this movie.
Absolutely take our word
But,
for it.
However, I did go to Rotten Tomatoes and I
Oh,
okay.
before that, I will say I watched this movie to the bitter end. In that I watched all the credits and everything, and there's also a stern warning that the FBI investigates infringement of
I
copyright.
did see that. There's also when he lists the music used in his film. First of all, it says music used, and it says when all the singers died.
Yeah, like musicians.
It has their birth date and death date.
So that you know that they're in public domain.
It's like Johann Sebastian Bach or something, and it's like blah 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 to 17 whatever. It's like, oh, okay, all right.
So you can't sue us.
So this is I did go to Rotten Tomatoes, and you know there's like those user reviews. This is like, this is what I wanted to write down because this is a negative review of it and it's pretty funny. All right, so here we go. This is just not too long. There are only two things worse than death: torture and Ben and Arthur. I'm a homosexual, and I will probably be the gayest person you will ever meet if you ever met me. And I don't think I've ever been more offended by an entire film than I was by the first 5 seconds of this film alone. If this movie was a mistake, I will personally find a way to change the famous phrase "It's okay to make mistakes" to "It's okay to make mistakes unless that mistake was Ben and Arthur." You know how people always say things like "good things come out of everything"? I think that Ben and Arthur was primarily invented so that there could be something on this earth that nothing good would ever come out of. To call this movie the worst movie I've ever seen would be giving it way too much credit. It's as if this film were designed just so that it could qualify in a category of its very own. There are good movies, there are bad movies, and then there's Ben and Arthur. This is a bad movie. 10 out of 10. Just kidding.
But if we explore some of the undertones that we've unpacked in this podcast,
then it's a 5-star movie.
It may actually be one of the most secretive, ingenious 5-star movie of all time. It's not.
Spoiler alert, it sucks. Mariah, what'd you think of the movie?
It looked just like a high school project. Like, it was just bad.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was like a first year film student project.
It's like a first year film student project that would get like a C-.
Wait, also in the credits he mentioned that what camera he used.
Oh, and we looked up the camera and it's absolute shit.
Yeah, it's a shit. Porno camera. There we go.
Yes, it's porno camera. That's right.
Well, that was Ben and Arthur. Plugs?
Montrose Monkington III, so we can all laugh again. We can all get a smile on our face at the exploits and the adventures of a British monkey puppet. There's been a lack of content in the last couple weeks, but that is going to be remedied shortly. He's starting, with the coverage of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view by the WWE. Montrose will be covering that, so check out... Yes. Right. Check out his YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV, or you can find him on Facebook, Montrose Monkington III, Esquire, and Friends.
Very good. Very well. Now, I gotta, do you have anything to tell us about coming up?
Yeah, I'll give you a hint here. Timothy Oliphant is the sanest person in the movie.
Very good.
All right.
So, you got any... first of all, before you ask me a question, because I know you probably have a question in mind.
Oh boy, howdy do I.
I want to thank Mariah for coming by. Bringing her giant penis.
Wow.
And...
well, we know it's such a trip for her to get there. Like, she has to travel a long ways to get to the place.
Yeah, I mean, it took... Yeah.
I mean, when you're dragging that gigantic schlong behind you, too.
Trust me, it's a lot of work.
She does own...
It's impressive.
She does own a wheelbarrow for a reason.
Oh, my God.
So, wow. Ask away, my friend.
Well, in a movie... About a movie... that was clearly made by a developmentally challenged first-year film student, where the gayest person is supposed to be the straightest person, who is also some sort of Noah gathering two of all cats and dogs, where there is a negative integer to represent the chemistry between the two protagonists and their affection towards each other. In a movie where Vermont is filled with beautiful Spanish architecture and palm trees, and people can fly FedEx to get to California from Vermont, and where people wear suit jackets to the poolside, where guns that look like super soakers are apparently legitimate, where a trans lawyer is just dismissed, and we come to understand that one of the main characters, who was supposedly hetero, was not hetero, because we find out that his ex-wife, and indeed, was a man that has now become a woman. I need to know, what were they thinking?